You will also understand how the interviewer's mind is working. Yes, Sarang,
Yes, sir.
which is the topic in economics which, as of now, you are confident about?
As of now, national income,
National
then
income.
demand, demand and supply. Not 100% confident, but I know more about it than other topics.
Which one? Choose one.
I would say demand and supply and national income are two topics which I can answer questions. Not
So,
100% sure, but yeah.
so we will assess you based on your answer to the following questions which I'm going to ask you. You have to ask
Okay.
yourself three questions from demand and supply.
I have
So,
to ask myself three questions.
yes, you have to ask yourself three questions from demand and supply, and you have to answer those questions. Based on how tough or easy those questions are, we are going to assess your competence level. Okay, right?
Okay, so like I have to ask myself only and answer them.
Yes, you have to ask yourself three questions from demand and supply, one by one. Go slowly over it. Ask one question, give the answer. Ask the second question, give the answer. Ask the third question, give the answer. Yeah, you can start.
Okay. Hmm. First question I'd like to ask myself is I'll start from the basic questions like what is demand and the determinants of demand. So, demand for commodity means the quantity of a commodity which a consumer is willing to buy and he's able to purchase for that. He's able to purchase that commodity at various possible prices during a particular or specific period of time. And if we talk about the determinants of demand, then there are various factors which affect demand, starting with the basic one, which is the price. So demand has an inverse relationship with price. So as the price of the product increases, the demand for that product goes on decreasing. And if the price decreases, the demand for that product increases. Then talking about the another factor, which is the income of the consumer. So income, there are almost three types of goods. So one is the normal goods, whose demand increases with the income of the consumer and decreases with the decrease in the income of the consumer. Second are the inferior goods. These are the goods for which higher substitutes are available, and they have an inverse relationship with the income of the consumer. That is, with an increase in the with the rise in the income, they will have a fall in the demand, and vice versa. Another thing is consumer tastes and preferences. So the demand for a product keeps on changing due to the consumer tastes and preferences, which are based on the habits of the people, the social customs, new inventions, etc. Then the second question I'd like to ask
Wait,
myself
you didn't give any examples of any of the things we discussed. Can you amplify with examples?
with examples.
Yeah.
Okay, so for I'll give about the income based one for how is income a determinant of demand. So talking about the inferior goods. Inferior goods are the goods which have higher substitutes available, like coarse cereals, jowar and bajra. For them, we have higher substitutes available in the market in a form of rice and wheat. So, if the income of a consumer is decreasing, then the consumer is more likely to buy these cereals, that is the maize or jowar, because obviously they are less priced and it will be in the budget of the consumer to buy those. And if the income is increasing, obviously you'll have more purchasing power to buy rice and wheat, etc.
Taste and preference.
Taste and reference, we are seeing the uh, if you see nowadays you have demand for designer clothes, like custom made clothes. So the consumers are preferring the designer clothes, custom made clothes. So there's an increase in the demand for these clothes, or we say fast fashion. The fashion keeps on changing within the consumer. So that's another example.
Okay. Second question.
Mm, Second question, supplement. Give me a moment. I ask. So in demand and supply, do you also need like the marginal utility and total utility? So can I ask on the basis of that also?
Yeah, it should be related to demand and supply.
It should be. I'd like to ask myself the distinction between the expansion of demand and not expansion of demand. Sorry. The difference between the change in demand and the movement along the demand curve and the shift in the demand curve. The distinction between these two.
Hmm.
So, movement along the demand curve basically means that when the amount which you demand of a commodity it changes because of the change in the price of the commodity and the other factors remaining the same. The other factors being the income of the consumer, then the tastes and preferences and the prices of the related goods. So in this case, there is a usually an expansion or contraction in the demand graph. So in case of expansion, the demand graph it's usually was downward sloping, and in case of contraction, it's an upward sloping graph. And the shift in demand curve means that when the amount demanded of a commodity changes because of the change in other factors other than the price of the commodity, other factors being same like the taste and preferences and the new technological inventions or price of the related goods.
Can you explain
So
the
in this
contraction
case,
part which you talked of earlier? Expansion and contraction
okay,
is not clear.
expansion, contraction. So expansion basically means that when the quantity demanded of a commodity rises due to a fall in its own price.
Okay.
So that time we call that expansion. And contraction means that fall in the quantity demanded, like it means decrease in the quantity demanded due to rise in the own price of the commodity.
This will be along the same curve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now you can ask your question on uh, you said national income, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead. Yes, Saran.
Actually, I have to only ask myself questions.
Yes.
Okay. National income. Again, I'll start with the definition of national income. So, national income can be defined as the factor in income accruing to the normal residents of a country during a year after making an allowance for depreciation. And other questions I would like to ask. The methods which we use to calculate national income.
Hmm.
So, there are three methods which we use to calculate national income. So, one of the first is value added method, in which we add the final output produced at the factor cost or the net value added at factor cost. When we national income at value is measured using the value added method. It is the sum total of net final output produced at factor cost or net value added at factor cost for all the
Can you
producing
can you
units
explain
within the
what is the meaning of value added?
value added. So mm we add the final output which we produce with like all the producing units in the country. They produce the final goods and services. So we add the value of the final goods and services to calculate the national
Give
income.
an example of what is this? What do you mean by final value of goods?
Final value of goods means if we take for example say bread. So we don't in national income we take the final value of the bread itself and not the ingredients which are used in the bread like flour and etc. The ingredients like yeast, etc. Because they are intermediate goods.
So
We only take the value of the final goods
what is meant by value add? Can you explain that?
by value added. So value added means basically we add the gross output by each enterprise. We calculate the market price of that good and the product, like the total quantity of the commodity produced by the entity or the enterprise into its market price, and then we add the gross value of the product, which is the final value minus the intermediate value of the intermediate goods used in the product, and then
Give an example,
we
particular
deduct
example.
particular example. So if
Hmm.
I'm talking about, as I said about bread, so there are around 100 units of bread produced by a bakery, and the final price, the market price of bread is around 50 rupees. So the value of gross output will be 5,000 rupees. Then um, take the then we'll find the gross value added by an enterprise. So in that we'll subtract the value of the intermediate goods used in the bread. So if we take it roughly around to be 2,000, so 5,000 minus 2,000 can be around 3,000. I'm taking estimates, right?
Hmm.
And then net value will be depreciation, but in this case, like it's not a asset or what, but
No,
um,
so this 2000 is what?
2,000 is the national is the income which is obtained from the sale of the bread or like the production of the bread within the
Okay,
country.
let me give you an example. Hello.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Suppose I use wool worth 100 rupees
Hmm.
in my factory and produce a sweater, and the market value of the sweater is 150 rupees.
Okay.
The value of the wool was 100 rupees and the value of the sweater
Mm.
was 150 rupees. So, will I be correct if I say that the value added by me is 50 rupees?
Mm. Yes, I think so. Yes.
Is that what you have been saying all along?
Yes.
Hmm. So, Sarang, you have mentioned that you are a professional badminton player.
Right, sir.
What do you mean by that? I mean, you get paid for playing?
Uh, no, we get paid if we win the tournaments, obviously. We don't, I don't have sponsorships as of now. I had a sponsor 2 years back. So in that sponsorship, basically, we used to get badminton equipment from the company. We used to get rackets, shirts,
You
and
got
kit bags
sponsor.
and all.
Okay. So, you are being paid separately or just getting these stuff?
It was a sponsorship for our academy, so our academy players used to get that.
Who was sponsoring you?
It was a local firm. It was an insurance company,
Hmm.
and uh, yes, it was an insurance company.
So, what is the difference between a professional badminton player and an amateur?
So your voice was not clear.
I said, what is the difference between a professional badminton player and an amateur?
Sir, amateurs means professionally means, sir, if we speak about a time duration, so I've been playing for 7 to 8 years and I've been performing at the national and state level both. And an amateur player is someone who plays at the district level at max.
I don't think that is the
That's
difference
basically
between professional and amateur. I think professionals are who
professional.
get paid for winning and who get paid through sponsors. Amateurs are who play national level or district level or whatever, they don't get paid for it.
It can be, but in badminton, if you reach to national and if you play at certain national tournaments, then you're considered as a professional player.
So,
Obviously, what you said is also correct, but
so you
in badminton we
will
call
be
that.
able to participate in, for example, Commonwealth Games or Asian Games or Olympics if you qualify. Even then, you will be a
Sir,
professional.
then for if I qualify for all these mentioned events, then I'll obviously be a professional player. But for me to qualify, first of all, I need to be in the Indian team, and then I'll need to have certain ranking in the world, and I'll also need to have some good sponsors who can sponsor me to go through these events and all.
Hmm. Okay, tell us about GST now. Is GST a value added tax?
Yes, sir, it's a value added tax.
Why is it a value
We
added tax?
add we add the values of during the process of production. We add the values, the tax at each level of production. That's why it's a value added tax.
So do you get credit for the input of the value of goods
Yes,
that
sir.
you use?
And yes, we have ITC input tax credit.
Okay. Any questions? Shreya, Kaushani, Asmita? I think you were a little better than yesterday, but you still need to brush up, Sarang.
Okay,
So choose one or two topics very carefully and please study those first.
okay, sir.
Can you give me a figure for the GDP of India? What is the GDP of India?
Mm, is it around $4 trillion
How much is that in rupee terms?
in rupee terms? Uh, I'm not sure in rupee terms.
Okay, do a quick calculation and tell me. Take your time. Tell me how much
Yes, sir.
is 1 billion US dollars in Indian rupees?
$1 billion around the rate of it's the rate of dollar is nine. It's around 9,000 crores
9,000
roughly.
crores.
I've taken $1 equals to 90 rupees. So
9,000
one
crores.
billion dollars should yes, sir.
So 1 trillion is how much? Use pen and paper if you want.
Yes, I'm doing that only.
1 trillion is how much?
1 trillion. Like 100 billion is around 90 lakh. It's around 90 lakh crore if I'm not wrong.
9 followed by 12 zeros.
Yes,
Hmm? 9,000
yes, sir.
crores is how much? 9 followed by 10 zeros.
9 followed by 10 zeros. Yes,
Right? So 1 trillion would be
yes.
9 followed by
90.
13
I think
zeros.
1 trillion would be 90 lakh crores.
90 lakh crores. 13 zeros.
Yes. 90,
So
90 lakh crores.
so per
So
capita income
according
will be how much?
per capita income will be 90 lakh crore upon the national income upon the total population of India, that is 140 crores.
Hmm. So 90 lakh divided by 140 is how much?
90 lakh divided by 140, I'm going
90 lakh divided by 140.
140. Yes,
Yes.
I'm doing the calculation. So it should be somewhere around 6 lakh, no,
64,000.
65,000 or something. I'm like 64.66
65,000.
something.
Huh? 65,000 into 4 is how much?
65,000 into 4, it's 2 lakh 60,000.
2 lakh 60. So average average per capita income is 2 lakh 60,000 rupees. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so should we say India is a poor country?
Mm, uh, India is not entirely poor, but obviously India falls in the low income countries, what I think.
Yeah, but if an average per capita income, average family income is 2 lakh 60,000 per annum, would you still say that India is a poor country?
Mm, because uh, if we take in as compared to developed countries, so it's obviously it's a poor country. But obviously we have a large population, so per capita income of 2,60,000, I don't think that India is a developed country. I think it's a poor country, sir. 2,60,000, it's not sufficient
In
in India.
Indian context, also 2 lakh 60,000 for a family of four is not sufficient. I mean, it qualifies as poor, or is there some other reason why you are calling it poor?
I'm calling it poor, and like if you compare to developed countries, and
No, leave out
comparing
even
comparing it to,
if you leave out the developed countries. So do you
hmm
think 2,60,000 rupees for a family of four in India for a year is less, more? My
hmm
question is very clear that at
yes, yes.
2,60,000 per family of four as being the income in India, why do we still consider India to be poor?
Uh, if we see in urban and semi-urban areas, 2.6 lakh is that it's poor because obviously they have high cost of living in these areas. But if we talk about the rural areas, it's quite sufficient.
Are you not missing a point? We are talking of an average income, but the disparity of income is too high in India, no? So
Yes,
taking
sir.
this kind of average doesn't work out, right?
Yes.
It's like saying that if the river is 2 feet at the bank and 12 feet in the middle, so the average
hmm
comes to 6 feet. So if somebody is 6.5 feet tall, he can walk through the river without drowning, even if he doesn't know swimming.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
There's income disparity in India.
Okay. Yes, Asmita, Shreya, Kaushani, please give your feedback. How was the interview?
So I feel it was a good interview.
Hmm.
He knew the answers of the questions, more or
Hmm.
less.
Hmm. As I said, it was better than before, but you have to think a little bit. Whenever you talk of any theories, you should always give examples so that I understand or the interviewer understands that you understand the concepts. Questions
Okay.
that you ask, suppose on a topic you are asking yourself two, three questions. They cannot be very basic questions, okay? If it's
hmm
about two or three questions, then one question can be basic, but the other two need to be little more in depth so that I understand that how much of the topic you know about.
Okay, sir.
It's not like you asked me to ask two questions, so I've asked two questions. It's not like that. I will be judging you on the quality of your questions and answers.
Okay.
And I gave you the option to ask yourself the questions basically to understand how much you knew about the topic.
hmm
Okay. So, as I said before, don't overburden yourself, but take up any two topics from economics and study them thoroughly with examples.
Okay.
ठीक है? Anybody has any more
Yes.
questions?
I have one question.
Yes.
In the interview, if they ask you, give us reasons why you should not be selected.
Hmm.
So, like, how to answer them?
Okay. So, what should be your answer? What will be your answer if they say, why should you be selected?
I would basically describe my qualities like that. I played badminton. I also scored good in my 10th, so I know about time management and how to perform in the high pressure and crunch situations. And I'm good at teamwork.
Hmm.
And another thing is I'm a strong-willed person who once decides if I want to do something, I'll achieve that thing.
Hmm. So, similarly, why should you not be selected?
I have thought of only one point that is like I sometimes I don't know how to say no to others, so I tend to overburden myself with work, and then if this happens, then I'm not able to meet the deadline sometimes.
Hmm. This can be one of your weaknesses, okay?
Okay.
Now, when they ask you about why should we not select you, okay? So you have to first list down what is the criteria for selection. The criteria for selection here will be your class 10, 12 result, your interview, and how it went, and the exam that you gave, the entrance exam result, right? And hobbies and
Yes.
interests, achievements, right?
Yes.
So you will say, I have, I will be, you have a percentile for your result in class 10.
Okay. No, sir, we don't have percentile. But
But
if it's seen general, 98% is, many people have got that 98%, but Generally talking, 98 is AIR 10 as they say in ICSC.
98 is?
But there are many people who have got 98 AIR 10 because many people say that. In my school also they are like, printed on the poster AIR 10 and all.
Hmm. No, if you write to the board, na, they will give you a percentile or a rank also. Okay.
Okay,
And you should take that because that will be useful later also.
okay,
So you can ask them that this is my roll number, this is my result. I want to know my percentile and rank. They will reply. Okay.
okay.
So collect that thing. And so you will say that I have got 98% in my class 10, which is an all India rank of 10th, you are saying. And how much did you score in maths in class 10?
95.
Acha, that is not something that you can talk about then. So you'll just say that I've got 98% in my class 10. In my school, I am the second. You are in your class, you are the topper, right?
Class I was topper and school I was fifth.
School, you are fifth. Out of how many students?
250.
So in my section, no, class means section. In my class, I am first
Yes,
out of 40 students or 30 students, whatever it is. And in my whole school, I am fifth out of 250 students. I am a national level badminton player. I am a very active participant in mock United Nations, and I've won these accolades. And I've done reasonably. You have a percentile for the exam that you took.
this one I don't remember it exactly.
Just
I'll
see
have
if
to
they
check it.
just see if they have given a scorecard. Okay, if they would have given a scorecard, then just forward it to me once.
Okay.
So you'll say I have done reasonably well in the exam because only what 400 students were selected out of 16,000 students for the interview process.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I am well prepared for the interview or reasonably prepared for the interview. So I have a good chance of being selected. Now, for being rejected, the chance of being rejected is very high because everybody who's been called for the interview is has a profile like mine only. But there might be some differences. I don't think many will be national level badminton players or active MUN participants, but they might have some other extracurriculars. But I think I'm eligible, but because of the stiff competition, I may still be rejected because of the huge competition.
Okay.
That weakness angle you don't need to bring in here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this would be sufficient.
Okay.
Okay. What else?
Yes, sir.
What else? Anything else? Anybody?
Nothing.
Shreya?
So I had one question.
Ah.
That is specific to SPGen. SPGen had a huge form, a huge application form. Like they asked almost everything about me. They even had me fill another question and answer set before the PI call.
Hmm.
So if they ask a question like, tell us something about yourself that wasn't captured in your resume or form, so what do I say? I have all written almost everything.
So you will just say that the SPGen form is very comprehensive. So I've already mentioned everything. Is it about the form or the resume?
Um, Anything like
So if
both
it is,
were comprehensive.
so you say that the SPGen form that I've filled up is very comprehensive. So I really don't think I have left out anything more to say. But probably I would like to mention that I am learning Bharatnatyam for the last 15 years, and I'm a presidential candidate for Scouts and Guides. And I'm very keen to do an MBA, especially from SPGen. So I'm here for the interview. Okay.
Okay, but I have mentioned these.
Yeah, so still, if you have, see, everybody has mentioned everything they have done. Okay.
Yes.
So there would be nothing left out. Now,
Huh.
yeah, these are also mentioned, but I think these could be highlighted.
Okay.
Any other questions, Sarang,
So,
Shreya?
one more thing. If they ask me a question that since I have played badminton at national level, why I didn't pursue my career in badminton only and why I'm turning towards academics. So like how to answer that?
You can just say that sports is a very risky to follow as a livelihood. And since I'm good in academics, I will try to continue both at a certain level. But I wouldn't like to leave my academics because of badminton, which has a very risky future. So to sort of have a decent life in the future, I will like to complete my education. And then if I'm competent enough to balance both, then probably whichever turns out better, I'll go for that.
Okay.
And this is a fact which they understand.
Yes.
One of my students wanted to take up football in class 11, and he was a science student. So he was my friend's son, and his father was very worried because football in India is not a very highly paid profession unless you are very good at it. So finally, it turned out that he had been offered some opening in a club in Calcutta, but that was not at a very high level at that point of time. So he still played football. He went to Manipal, then he went to IIM Calcutta. Now he's working in a corporate. So he's quite okay with it. Another of my students, he took off 1 year after class 12 to play golf. He wasn't in touch with me after that, but probably I don't think he's a professional golfer as of now. There are every year 2, 3 parents who call me asking this question. That my son is very good in cricket. In fact, another guy was very good in, I mean, they think they are very good in cricket, but if you are not at a national level or Ranji level by the age you are 18, 19, then it's very difficult for you to make it into professional cricket. So I have to make the parents understand at times, and they have to sort of, satisfy their kids that this is not something where you can have a really decent future, and you might end up being just a localized kind of player or coach, and which they over a period of time they understand that. So you can say that it's not a very difficult thing to explain. They will
Okay, sir.
appreciate it. Same thing for Bharatnatyam for Shreya, which she said, I think, in one of the interviews.
Yes, sir.
What else? Anything else? So I would be focusing more on the interviews and some discussion on topics in the next few classes. Try to look up a little bit about current events and try to post in the Facebook group that you all have joined. Okay. Let's see. Let's meet tomorrow at 8:30 then.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Good night.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.